like gravel roads and talking, and I don't know, like if
there's something about the pace of his voice.
There's something about it that really appealed to my brain, apparently. But it's also worth watching. It's only like 20 minutes long, so if you have the ability to watch these videos, I would highly
suggest. He's an interesting character.
I mean, he's not. I mean, he spends a good 5 minutes talking about like some nuts that he found.
Yeah, it's opinion nuts. He finds these
and then at the very end,
trees,
there's like another 5 minutes about him being like, look at this tortoise I found. You can't touch it legally. You can't touch it, but I'm gonna get as close as I possibly could to touching it.
And I loved it too. The tortoise is sitting there. He's got his arms and legs and head sticking out. You know. And then Kenny comes up close, just put his hand next to it so you can get an idea of the size of it. You know?
Yeah, but you could tell Kenny was like trying really hard not to touch it.
Oh yeah, no, he
was like, okay, you can't touch it though. Like, don't touch it.
But no, if you watch the video though, as he gets close, all of a sudden the tortoise goes whoop, and he just sucks everything inside.
Yeah, no, I mean the video is pretty intense, but I would say it's a 20 minutes well spent.
Yeah, it's 23. I think it's 23 minutes overall.
Especially if this is something that interests you. But I would definitely watch it for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. If you're interested in this mystery, and of course you are. We're talking about it. Yeah, I know. But anyway, back to the military dumping toxic waste.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. No, we had to talk about the tortoise sooner or later, but that actually makes sense. No one ever seems to go up in the sheep range. It's kind of godforsaken.
Okay, so this whole thing is Kenny's going to go find M Cave.
He's going up there to look for the M Cave.
So how does that all progress?
He starts at this mine shaft, but I'm going to talk about first of all where he parked. He parked about 4 miles south of there.
Okay.
And so if you want to get there, if you're actually in Vegas and you want to drive out there, it's easy to get to. You drive out Highway 95 northwest from Vegas. You turn right on Corn Creek Road, go about 4 miles, and the road tees right there at Alamo Road. So you got to turn either left or right. Turn left, which is north, and then go about 3 miles, turn right on Joe May Road, which is the only road you can turn right on.
Is that somewhere close to the Ruby Tuesdays out there?
I'm sure there's at least 2 Ruby Tuesdays on the way out there. Okay, cool. But a good point, by the way. And stop in for the milkshakes. They're awesome. And when you get on Joe May Road, you drive about 4 miles and you get to the end of the road. That's where you are. You're at the south end of Joe May Canyon. And so that's where he parked his Jeep. He hiked north up that canyon about 4 miles to the starting point of the video, which is the mine shaft.
And word of warning on this, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, if you go out there, go take somebody.
Take a friend, at least one friend.
Definitely take some water with you.
Wear
it's going to be hot out there. Take a lot of water with you. Wear some boots.
Yeah.
Take some food.
Yeah.
Prepare for the day.
Maybe a GPS.
Probably a first aid kit.
At least a compass, first aid kit. Wear long pants for the rest. The thing about water is water weighs a lot, but you can always stash some somewhere along the way too.
You can.
There's all kinds of ways to deal with that, but water is indispensable.
But
and last of all, it's the desert, so it gets freaking cold at night. So take a fleece and a coat.
That's what. Wear layers. Wear long pants. Take lots of water with you.
So one thing I want to point out though here is that I know this from watching the video, but when we've been talking about it, this mine entrance, if you don't know, it's not a mine entrance that is in the side of a hill.
No, it's vertical. Yeah.
It's a vertical mine shaft with this weird metal contraption with a pulley on top that's all been planked over for the most part.
That I feel like made me very uncomfortable for reasons totally unknown.
Because you feel like it's going to collapse as soon as you touch it.
That's what I guess that might have been.
Yeah, I wouldn't walk out on that wooden platform.
It definitely had nothing to do with Fallout New Vegas.
No.
No. But yeah, if you decide to take this hike, though, as you're working your way up to the top of this canyon, it's very near the top, and you'll see the mine. There's just sort of this thing sticking up like a metal framework. You'll see it off on your right, sort of atop of a low hill. That's
Take more than one single Snickers bar with you.
Yeah, exactly. So when you get to the mine, that's about a 1,600-foot elevation gain. So that's uphill the entire way.
That's a heck of a hike.
And that's where the video starts, right?
And that's where it starts.
Yeah.
From there, you go about a quarter mile north to what's called Wild Horse Pass. And you can find that on Google when you look for it. You'll see it. There's a little saddle there. And You go over the pass, and from there, Kenny goes downhill to the north, and then makes a left through a cleft between two cliffs, and goes into what's called Picture Canyon,
which makes sense.
Yeah, which you can also find on Google. It's marked, and that's where the cave supposedly was, somewhere in Picture Canyon. And this part of the video starts at 9 minutes 30 seconds.
And we're talking finger canyons, right?
Yeah. Picture you go through the cleft, and there's sort of a biggish, sort of roundish area, large area. And then there's a valley that goes off to the north, a canyon that goes off to the north, and then another finger of it goes off to the west.
But we're talking like relatively small. I mean,
it's
we're not talking
Grand
like
Canyon.
Right.
Yeah, no.
We're not talking
20 feet wide.
Right. We're talking about
10 feet
in
wide.
fairly
conservative.
conservative.
It's hundreds of yards wide, but it's
that's
not miles wide.
Hundreds of yards wide.
At
like
the widest. At the widest.
Okay.
And then towards the western side, towards the western end of it, it narrows down. It narrows down quite a bit, and then it sort of snakes out off to the west.
Yeah.
And throughout this video, of course, Kenny is dispensing lots of handy tips on wilderness survival, like don't bother bringing a compass.
Or water.
Or food.
Yeah, that's
totally overrated, dude.
He is a super survivalist.
Yeah, I know. He totally is. He says, oh, I only bring a little bit of water, and I brought one candy bar to get me through the day. It's like, okay, dude.
Yeah, I mean, there was kind of like near the end of the video, I think it was kind of near the tortoise situation where he's kind of like, okay, I climb out this canyon. And look, this cool tortoise is here. This is amazing.
You could tell
he's just a little delirious and like super wiped.
He's still got miles to go before he gets back to his Jeep.
Yeah.
Where the beer is going to be there and it's still going to be cold.
And he talks a lot about the one beer he's got sitting in his car that's still somehow going to be cold.
Yeah, well, if you buy it, if you put it in there and buy a big block of ice to set it next to it,
dry
ice,
cold. Maybe,
as long as somebody doesn't break into your car and steal it.
Into the dry ice.
Yeah,
you get a Yeti.
Yeah,
that's what it's all about.
But yeah, I could, and actually his incentive system is pretty sensible.
I meant the cryptid, by the way.
Right.
Oh,
I mean, I agree. Like, there's something to be said about having some sort of drink or amazing
some
food
reward at the end.
When you got back. But that should not preeminent. What's the word I'm looking for? It should not take precedence over taking reasonable water and food supplies with you on your journey.
Oh yeah,
which it seems like it did. For
I mean, for the love of Pete, I told you guys I went up on Mount Tabor this week, which is not any kind of heavy climb because I drove up most of it. I walked about an hour and a half around it.
You probably took some water with you, huh?
I didn't take water, and I didn't take a granola bar because I was super close to my car. And in the 2 hours that I was dinking around, by the time I got back to my car, I was absolutely famished and just exhausted. And immediately I'm in town, thank God, went to the first food establishment I could find.
And I've told you guys this story, I'm sure. We went to the Grand Canyon over the summer right after CrimeCon.
Right.
And
You found a ring there.
Yeah, I did find a ring there. It was a
pretty
beautiful ring. But I am a wilderness EMT, like survivalist, and I was wearing flip-flops and had like my clutch purse and a cappuccino with me.
And we were walking in the other hand?
No, we were walking like along the rim, and it was just amazing to me the number of people who were throwing me dirty looks. Because there's this like little bit of a rim trail where you can hop on and hop off, and you're not actually going down into the rim. But the number of people who are like clearly giving me these looks where they were like, "You are so underprepared for this.
We are gonna have to go down and rescue your sorry ass." Yeah.
Yeah, and then like me knowing like actually I'm more prepared to save all of you people than you were to save me was pretty amazing. But I think Kenny
was the opposite.
He
thought he knew what he was doing. I was amazed when I was listening to, or there was somewhere I was reading or listening to one of his videos, and he was talking about the fact that I go on hikes for so long, and when I get home, my toenails are black. And I started reading about that, and that is a symptom of heavy-duty runners, like marathon, ultra marathon runners will have that happen.
He wasn't exaggerating. I don't think.
But a guy to be hiking for a day or three, He's really, really putting his body under some extreme stresses.
Unfortunately, one thing that can encourage the toenail falling off is lack of water, but also boots that don't fit you great.
Yeah. Oh, that could be.
He probably didn't have the best gear.
And this is another thing why Kenny should have taken more water, because he said specifically, I lose 13 pounds of body weight. Well, dude,
you're not supposed to.
You're not losing
fat.
That's not
a bragging right.
You're not losing fat, dude. You're losing. That's all water, dude.
It's all water.
Yeah, it's all water, dude.
And you need that 13 pounds of water.
And that's why that kind of thing is dangerous.
It is.
I mean, you might think that, hey, I'm tough, I'm badass.
So Kenny filmed himself going into Picture Canyon, where the M Cave is.
Where the M Cave is.
Did he find it?
Is. No, he goes to the west, and as I said, it narrows, it sort of snakes around for a while. Eventually, it drops back down to the desert. Kenny came out the west end. And here is his report.
Well, I did not find the cave. That is so weird. I mean, I thought for sure I was just going to be able to find it. I remember it being fairly easy. Who knows? But I am at the mouth of the canyon. There, I'm just now coming out. And now I have to take a big left-hand turn and walk all the way back to my truck, which is a long, hard trip because I've got a lot of up and down to do. That's it. I'll talk to you when I get back to my truck. Bye-bye.
So, disappointment. But Kenny didn't give up. He actually had plans to go back out there again. He actually posted somewhere on YouTube. This was not too long before he left. Said, I'll be going this weekend. I'll be hiking solo for 3 days. I will cross through the same canyon where I found the cave. If I don't find it again, I will just continue hiking over mountain after mountain to the north of the canyon. I dare any of the people that like to run their mouths on here to join me. My hikes are brutal on the body. And he talks about his fingernails turning...
His toenails?
And he talks about his toenails falling black and falling off and all that stuff. And he said he really wants to go find that M Cave again. That was his last, I think, comment on YouTube.
Yeah, I just really do love all of the guys or ladies. It's usually guys, though.
On
unfortunately.
YouTube? That are
just in life who think that black toenails and depriving themselves of water and stuff is some sort of sign of manliness.
Yeah. Oh no.
Don't.
Yeah.
To our literally tens of listeners
who are going to undertake this kind of
don't take the water, take the food. Don't think that you depriving yourself. It's better for you to come back with extra water.
Absolutely. And by the way, if the water is too heavy and it's weighing you down, drink it.
Drink it.
Yeah, just drink it.
By the way, I just realized also for context, one thing that we missed through this is we keep talking about the M Cave. We've got Kenny's description.
Yeah.
Kenny's description of M Cave is not this giant monumental cave entrance.
That's about
it's man height.
Yeah.
I think it was in the text, but if we haven't emphasized, it's not a giant thing.
Yeah. It's about, man height or anything. And he finds a lot of people mention this too in the comments on YouTube that, well, guys, at this marker, he found the MK, but these are little ones that are maybe a foot or two tall.
Yeah, he finds other M caves that you would have to. I don't think honestly, I don't think a person would fit in any.
There's a lot of cave entrances in that area that look like a capital M if you bend the definition of a capital M to suit what you're looking at.
Yeah.
There's that, it could look like many letters of the alphabet. Oh, and there's also, this is an aside, there's that one that looks like kind of a diagonal slit.
With the eyes in it?
With the eyes in it. You saw that one?
Yeah,
I don't love that one.
Yeah, you don't like that one?
That one's actually not that bad when you watch the other videos.
I mean, watching it in the videos, but if you watch it without the sound on it, which I did the first time, it's like silence, there's no closed captioning or anything, and you just see this, it's almost like a horror movie.
Yeah.
It pans over, it's a slit with things that look like eyes staring back at him, and you're just like, ah! But then you listen and you understand it's not really what that is. But
these guys that went up there later on and did
looking for Kenny,
they zoomed in on that and they decided it was bird poop on
something
on a rock.
Yeah, it's something.
Well, it appeared that the white eye things were multiplying in the multiple videos. It appered that there was more as time went on.
Well,
it would appear to maybe it probably was guano.
Yeah, it was probably a shifting landscape. Probably at least one flash flood in the middle of the winter.
I just talked about the white spots though.
Oh,
the rest of the landscape changed.
So Kenny,
like I said,
he went out.
Yeah, so on November 10th, 2014, he phoned his girlfriend, Sherry-Ann, left a message saying he was heading back to the sheep range for another go. He was going to spend a couple of nights out there. And he was going to find that damn cave.
Yeah.
And,
weirdly, though, he didn't take his video camera.
No, he didn't. But some people have made some things, some out of that. He did take his gun, but he did not take the movie camera. But I suspect that because he was going out for an overnighter, he had to take more provisions, had to take his sleeping bag and his tent, etc. Probably wanted to save a little weight, and so I'm not surprised he left the movie camera behind.
Nor am I.
See, I didn't get the impression that his camera would have been that big of a camera or that much weight. No, I get that his bulk in a pack. I totally understand him. As you guys know, I am currently in the process, of course, when this releases, this will be after the fact, but figuring out how to get about 8 or 9 days worth of clothes into a pack. But still, it's not that big of a thing, and there's no weight to that camera and its tripod in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, but and maybe this is like better served in theories, but when you're going out, every ounce.
Absolutely, it does.
Especially if you're doing an overnight.
Pack of water.
Yeah.
Well, but he might have decided at that point, actually, it's better for me to take the water than the camera.
Well, I wish that were true, because you may know what happened to Kenny.
Or the gun replaces the camera in ounceage.
Okay.
Yeah.
And yes, obviously, we would be happier now.
There could be some found footage.
But maybe not, because his camera may have never been found.
There's only one thing that ever got found, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But it would have been great if the camera had been found, and if it was found footage like Blair Witch Project. Oh. Yeah, so it's like, instead of I've never been so scared as Kenny going, I've never been so thirsty. Because
I don't want to.
Shouldn't have bought these Snicker bars.
Actually, all joking aside, I didn't mind watching any of Kenny's videos.
Yeah.
That would be the video that I absolutely would not watch.
Yeah.
If it was the end of Kenny video, that's the kind of thing that you don't ever, as a human being, want to have.
Agreed.
Agreed. No, I like Kenny. I'm not going to.
Some sicko would put it on the internet.
So. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I'm not happy if Kenny did indeed die, which some people think he did. Some people have their theories that maybe he didn't. We're going to talk about that in a minute, but so local search and rescue team, Red Rocks Search and Rescue.
The local SAR.
Yeah, they made 4 expeditions, I believe, out there. They combed Picture Canyon and Joe May Canyon looking for him. They tracked him from where his Jeep was up to the abandoned mine shaft, and they found his phone and nothing else there.
And this is the mine shaft we talked about earlier, the vertical mine shaft. The
vertical mine shaft where his video began, where it started the first, and they tracked him as far as there, found the phone, but the track ended there. And so that's it. They searched, they found no trace of Kenny ever. Not a stitch of clothing or a candy wrapper, nothing. He looks to be gone for good, so our mystery here is what the hell happened to Kenny. But first, before we talk about what happened to Kenny, let's take a break.
Salt, cellulose, vitamins, minerals, fish oil, fish meal, chicken fat, chicken digest, brewer's yeast, whole linseed, soybean hulls, sugar beet pulp, barley, brown rice, soya meal, oats, long pig meal. What's long pig meal? If you are into knowing what's in your food, not long pig, try RX Bar. RX Bar is a whole food protein bar made from a few simple ingredients, all which serve a purpose. Egg whites for protein, dates to bind, nuts for texture. And in the interest of full transparency, all the core ingredients are labeled right on the front of the package. No BS. With 11 delicious varieties, all of which are gluten-free, soy-free, dairy-free, and free of any added sugar, artificial colors, flavors, preservatives, or fillers, you can actually taste all of the ingredients. I've had a couple of the flavors, actually, at this point. Peanut butter chocolate. I really like peanut butter. They're really, really good. I have been snacking on them all the time, and they're actually replacing meals for me because I'm lazy. So if you want to give them a try too, you can get 25% off your first order at rxbar.com/sideways and using the promo code sideways at checkout. That's rxbar.com/sideways longpig.com/sideways, promo code sideways for 25% off your first order. Because Long Pig, you don't want to know what that is.
And we're back. Well, let's go to our first theory. So our first theory is this whole thing is a hoax.
Could be.
Yeah, and this guy that's in the
Actually,
video.
that makes a lot of sense.
It does.
Well, it kind of does. There's some reasons why there's people out there questioning the story, whether Kenny even really existed or if he really disappeared, because maybe somebody just wanted to start a little internet legend.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this thing has become sort of a minor. It's not as big as, say, Maura Murray, but it's still got a fairly decent following out there.
Yeah.
For one thing, there's almost no, I wouldn't say no, there are actually two stories about this in the Las Vegas press. And they were done by one TV station, which is the local